Okay, so I watched this video earlier today, and it's really good. This guy makes really good content. He makes like media analyses and retrospectives on just gay media, I guess, or like LGBTQ representation in shows and movies over over history, which is pretty cool. But I saw this one today, and I was kind of baffled because he was playing. So in most of his videos, I think there's like articles and stuff, and the homophobia is heavily implied because of it was the 80s or whatever. But in Modern Family, he had like modern footage and articles from just like maybe a little over 10 years ago, and I'm obviously it's baffling at the time, but they were shockingly similar to things I hear today. After we've made so much progress, it baffles me that we're going backwards. So I just kind of wanted to go over some of the stuff and just get my thoughts out. If I could possibly learn how to use my computer. Okay, let's check this out.
In May of 2014, Modern Family aired a great big fairy tale wedding that was absolutely perfect in every way.
Uh-oh.
We are never gonna get there on time.
I'm leaving you. The fire has jumped the freeway. Oh my god! The butterflies are eating me!
And here comes the happy couple now.
That's
Mitchell
funny.
and Cam, part of a big chaotic ensemble that made up Modern Family. Together for the better part of a decade, Mitch and Cam built a home together, raised a daughter, and stood by each other through ups and downs, richer and poor, sickness and health, lawyer and clown.
Bisbo is not gay. He's asexual.
But despite being one of the most wholesome couples on television, when Modern Family debuted, Mitch and Cam were the one household on the show that wasn't allowed to get married. Getting these guys to the altar was a multi-year effort, both on screen and behind the scenes, on the part of the writers, the actors, and ultimately the U.S. Supreme Court.
I am Chief Justice.
Hey friends, I'm Matt Baume, and this is the behind-the-scenes story of how Modern Family's Cam and Mitch finally made it down the aisle for one of the most anticipated weddings of the year.
Wait, what's the balloon budget?
It was 2009, and the American sitcom was dead, or at least that's what the critics were saying. After a golden age in the 90s, successful sitcoms started here, and many was so surprised because thousands, the ratings dropping on every network. In 2009, modern, diverse family structure is born out of wedlock,
Ariane told her to order you a box of baby cheeses.
and most unusual of all for TV, a gay couple raising an adopted baby. But in 2009, having two gay dads among the leads of a network sitcom was pretty unusual. There had been some same-sex couples on TV before, but they were usually side characters or one-off guests or tragically short-lived. For Modern Family to make Mitch and Cam equal in prominence to straight couples was a rare move for a sitcom, and particularly risky for a format that everyone thought was on death's door. So, how did it happen? Well, it all started with a disaster. 2 years earlier, in 2007, Fox had attempted a new sitcom called Back to You that looked like it was going to be a surefire hit. It starred megastars Kelsey Grammer from Frasier and Patricia Heaton from Everybody Loves Raymond. It was directed Grammer and Patricia Heaton that the end of sitcoms was Golden Girl. Something different. Were true, they started was done at that. The households let two gay dads turn off for some viewers.
And we said from the very beginning, this is going to mean we probably won't be a giant hit.
Stephen said, I remember thinking, well, there goes the middle of the country. This concern wasn't unfounded, considering how Americans tended to respond to gay characters on TV and in real life. Today,
It's crazy. Like, I think he says it later in the video that like 30% of people, approved of like legalizing gay marriage. And then, a few years later, it was about 50%. And nowadays, like 70% of people approve of gay marriage? Or is it 70% of people approve of abortion? Well, basically, more than half the country at this point approve of gay marriage. And the only ones who don't are like Christian fascists or Christian nationalists, however you want to phrase it. They're basically the same thing. Yeah, fucking bonkers.
Earlier, when Ellen came out, a survey showed that nearly a quarter of Americans were personally offended.
I know what you need. A melon baller.
Personally
By
offended.
2008,
Personally
the shift,
offended.
and viewers had embraced standalone gay characters on shows like Will and Grace and Grey's Anatomy, but couples was another matter. Those were less common and usually appeared on cable. On top of that, Americans had recently shown their disapproval for gay couples at the ballot box. Starting around 2000, voters in over 30 states had voted to prevent same-sex couples from getting married. At the same time that Stephen and Christopher were developing Modern Family, California voters approved Proposition 8, a ban on marriage equality, in the very state where the show was going to be set.
California voters
Fucking
have spoken
crazy.
out on what's called Proposition 8. They have approved a ban on same-sex marriages.
Stephen and Christopher had a tough choice to make. Either take a chance on having Mitch and Cam be prominent members of the core cast, possibly alienating viewers, or play it safe by making them background characters.
You can make a million decisions right, and you can make one decision wrong, and that'll kill you. And that's this business.
Their concern deepened when they ran the idea for the show past a friend, a prominent gay writer. He hated it. He told them to scale back the gay couple. He told them, quote, no one's going to watch unless Mitch and Cam were reduced to minor supporting roles. In other words, exactly how most sitcoms had handled gay couples in the past. But as they mulled it over, Steve and Christopher realized that if they were going to make a show called Modern Family, it didn't make sense to remove the kind of family that had only just begun to appear on modern TV shows.
We both said, well, you can't we can't do a show about this without this. So we'll just do the best we can, and yes, it'll turn off a large number of a large portion of America, but it has to be.
Go fuck yourself. Like, I don't care. Like, I remember, like, they said, oh, we're worried about, like, you know, alienating our conservative audience. And obviously they want, like, you know, to make money and to, like, you know, fucking get exposure and just for their show to be seen and make money and blah, blah, blah. But fuck conservatives. Fuck. Like, I mean, it's hard to think of the mindset at the time, but obviously nowadays it's like, you feel alienated because like gay people exist? I don't give a fuck. It's like, okay, feel alienated. You're the weird one. You're the weirdo. I love it.
They call me weird.
Well, Cam's a bit more outgoing and, well...
Swishy?
Swishy, yes.
The characters were played by Jesse Tyler Ferguson and Eric Stonestreet. And by the way, they were not in the original plan for the cast. I found it very fun.
They're funny.
Details about how both of these actors
I haven't seen a lot of this show, but those guys are funny.
I killed 3 people.
And I posted those stories on Twitter. Head over to patreon.com/Baume if you want to see them. So,
You judged enough as the only gay parents there. I don't want to be the late ones, too. Paisley and Pink. Was there something wrong with the fishnet tank top?
Obviously not. I'm wearing it underneath.
but at least in the show, they don't encounter much opposition. But behind the scenes, the showrunners were concerned about how real-life Americans would react. So, in the first few episodes, Modern Family was careful about giving Mitch and Cam stories that were less about being gay and more about being parents. You see them trying to fit in a daycare,
I want to dance for my baby.
arguing about baby clothes,
Why is she dressed like the Hamburglar?
getting lost at Costco trying to buy diapers.
You know what we should do? We should get enough for like the next year or two, right? Where would we keep them? They sell sheds.
The idea was that by giving them storylines that would be relatable to gay and straight viewers, the audience would get to know them as parents while also getting used to them being gay.
They start relating to these characters.
So, I mean, this is kind of what we're doing nowadays. I think a lot of media is more, I don't know what the word is, abrasive? I don't know if that's true, but like, yeah, you make them relatable. Because like that's, I mean, it's some gay parents have to deal with the same shit normal parents do. They all have to deal with the same problems. And in addition to all of those problems, they also deal with, you know, conservatives not wanting them to exist. On top of that, so maybe that part ain't so relatable to some people.
And realizing, oh, they're not too different from us. And then like they're like, oh wait, but they're gay.
And this tactic was pretty effective. Viewers loved the show, especially Mitch and Cam. Modern Family landed in the top 10 in ratings throughout the first season and the top 5 among new shows. Episodes averaged around 10 million viewers, which was great for the time. And Mitch and Cam were audience favorites. Barbara Walters put them on her list of the most fascinating people of the year.
On mainstream TV once a week, audiences are watching 2 gay men raise a baby and rooting for them.
The Hollywood Reporter
Get a phone call.
called Modern Family the best new series of the year. The LA Times wrote that family sitcoms were, quote, back from the dead. And far from reliability, they wrote that Mitch and Cam were the centerpiece of the show. But there was also some criticism. Of course, conservatives launched a campaign to boycott ABC for daring to depict a same-sex couple. The group 1 Million Moms declared that simply putting a gay couple on TV was offensive. Surprise! A producer for Fox News said Modern Family was causing the destruction of the American family.
Kind of a lot of drama.
I'm gonna let him talk a little bit more.
Corrosive, twisted, and a little bit of poison.
I think we have different definitions of poison.
But there was also criticism from some unexpected quarters.
Okay. Like, doesn't that shit, maybe I was living under a rock, that like I'm not sure when like those shows, like when those articles were talking about the show, I think it's been like over 10 years, well over 10 years. But that shit sounds like modern day conservatives. Like, I can't believe that this resurgence of homophobia is at our doorstep again. Like, what the fuck? Like, you know, I grew up during that time, at that age where like it was just who gives a shit. Like, I remember like being like I lived in a really shitty neighborhood and everybody was horribly homophobic, and like I was like 7 or 8, I don't know, 7, 8, 9, 10, in like those years where I was like, oh, like being gay is like the worst thing you could possibly be. Oh my god. It's like, no, it's like if you call somebody gay, it's like the worst thing you could call them. Like, it's devastated. It was devastating. Really weird time in my life. But then like I got into middle school, which I'm not even like an adult or mature yet, but that's like when it started to click for me. It's like, oh, right, there's nothing wrong with being gay. Why does anybody give a shit? And it was also around the same time, like, I realized maybe around 12, like, I was atheist. I stopped believing in God. Like, it just clicked, like a couple years after I stopped believing in Santa. I'm like, oh, it's like Santa Claus. It's a bunch of bullshit. And then at that point, I thought, like, as I was sort of growing and maturing, I thought everybody around me was too, and that maybe I was just catching up to them. I thought everybody was atheist and everybody was like okay with gay people. And then I got into high school and I found out, oh, there's actually a lot of believers, a lot more than I thought, and people were like super homophobic too. Hello, you seem nice. Thank you, Bisky. I don't normally do. I am religious too. Well, I'm not religious, but you do you. I'm happy for you. Like, if that's your thing, that's your thing, Kind of talking about how, like, I don't usually do politics very often, but I saw this video earlier today and I thought it was really interesting because the same homophobic crap that came like 10 plus years ago that this guy is talking about in this video is like basically the same rhetoric they're using nowadays. Like, they're just going over like how, like, oh, Modern Family, the show Modern Family, and the gay couple are toxic and it's disgusting. Like, there are like Ben Shapiro, who's like one of the most popular conservatives on YouTube, is vehemently homophobic, and he'll use these words like think twice before you take your kids to a Disney movie. Like, it's so embarrassing that he's like this popular and has this much recognition, and he's homophobic, and it's embarrassing. No offense, but I feel bad for Ben Shapiro. You feel bad for him? Why? You gotta. But do you feel bad because he's homophobic? I pity him for being homophobic, and like, to some degree, like, obviously, because of his upbringing, but he's digging his own grave. Like, he's in bed, with the like, he makes money off this now. It's a grift. So whether or not he's like actually as homophobic as he is, he has to maintain that image to, keep his audience, to pander to his audience. A lot of right-wing grifters are at this point in their grift, I suppose. I just feel like he is so sad inside and he will never experience the beauty of diversity. Kind of want to give him a hug, I find him... I don't see, like... I see where you're coming from. And maybe I might feel that way about like normal people, but he's built his image and his empire, quote unquote, off like bigotry, misogyny, and homophobia. I do not feel bad for him. That is super true, though. But the only way to change him is to understand why he does it in the first place. That's the thing, though. Even if you do change him, he won't change his messaging because, like, it's the grift. He'll, like, if he were to come out and say, I approve of gay marriage, he'll lose his audience. It won't happen. He has a financial incentive to stay where he's at, or at least to continue, to say the things he says and put out the actions, or advocate for those actions, to vote against like gay marriage and shit. But he will gain a new audience. So. Oh God. I don't think so. I mean, I guess that would be really weird. Like, it's not like you're not changing him on the one position isn't what it's going to do is cause him to lose a massive chunk of his audience and maybe get a tiny fraction of new audience. Maybe none, unless he changes all of his other horrible positions. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he'd have to completely flip-flop almost if he wanted to maintain any sort of semblance of... Oh, and he's built an entire platform with all these... Like, he'd have to divorce himself from his entire company because his entire company is full of right-wing dipshits now. You know? Is it Matt Gates? Or no, Matt Walsh? And he's got like Jordan Peterson. He's got all of these right-wing, Candace Owens, all these right-wing friends that are a part of his Daily Wire empire. Like, he couldn't do it. I don't think he'd ever do it. That is true. I just wanted to help people out. I don't know how other... Well, you can... His audience. Talk to people, normal people. Normal for, you know, conservative. Talk to normal people about it. You're not going to change Ben's mind. That's not going to happen. I'm guessing you don't like Elon Musk. No, he's a piece of shit. I mean, like, he's like, we're stun locked right now. So I'm going to take a break. I'm not going to go into Elon Musk. I want to go into this video and talk about some of the stuff this guy talks about and how it relates to today. Bisky, I really appreciate you coming into my chat and talking to me about this. I love it. You're a good person. I don't know your pronouns, so you're a good person. Oh, you don't need to say sorry. You're great. You're great. You're doing great.
Viewers who noticed that Modern Family wasn't treating Mitch and Cam the same as the straight couples. While the other couples were frequently physically affectionate, Mitch and Cam seldom touched, rarely hugged, and never kissed.
This is unacceptable.
At first, Christopher and Steven and the rest of the cast responded to the criticism by asking audiences to just wait.
Chris and Steve and the creators, they have an arc to this show, and you're going to see everything you could ever imagine from Cameron and Mitchell. I promise. No, we're going to have sex, Jesse.
But that just made people more impatient.
No problem. Thank you for the follow, Bisky. Thank you. I appreciate that. I might have to do more politics. I just got an email that you followed me. All right. Well, happy Canada Day. I'm out to see the fireworks. Fuck yeah. Enjoy your Canada Day.
Urging the show to let Mitch and Cam kiss. Jesse Tyler Ferguson, who played Mitch, tweeted that he'd signed the petition himself. But behind the scenes, not everyone was so eager. For years, gay kisses had been a source of controversy for TV shows. After Tales of the City showed a gay couple kissing in the 90s, there were congressional hearings that nearly led to the defunding of PBS. In 2008, conservatives were when Luke and Noah kissed on
this. Wait. This is cancel culture. They bitch about the left doing cancel culture. This is literally cancel culture. This is Oh god. The right really, like, they invented cancel culture, and they really try to get shit canceled. The left does consequence culture for the most part. The right does cancel culture. I can't. Oh.
And obviously, these are people that are trying to push an agenda on the viewers.
I
think most people really...
Oh, it sounds just like it sounds just like 2022. The gay agenda, man. Oh, you know, I remember SpongeBob. There was the gay agenda. SpongeBob was part of the gay agenda too. SpongeBob was, I mean, he was pretty gay, but I love SpongeBob. Everybody loves SpongeBob. He wasn't openly gay, but you know.
Don't want it.
And in 2009, the same year,
Wait, okay.
Trying to push an agenda on the viewers, and the reality is I think most people really don't want it.
And in 2009,
you gotta pull them in slow, just like they said. You get the gay couple, and you just normalize the hell out of it, and you make them super relatable, and then you realize, oh, you do want it. You know what? Maybe I'm crazy, but I noticed that a lot of media today, they do a lot of like lesbian couples. I see a lot, which is great, But where are my dudes at? I want to see some guys fucking making out. All right, I want to see some gay love stories, and they're there. But maybe it's just a bias, just because a lot of the media I watch, that I've seen recently, there's always the gay dads. In like every one of these like progressive shows, they have like the main characters like She-Ra, like everybody was gay in She-Ra, but I don't remember any gay relationships like that you see develop over time through men. You see the gay dads, like Bo has gay dads, but She-Ra, Adora and Catra, you see their relationship blossom. And then there's the Owl House. You got Lumity and Lumity, Luce and Amity. But then you know that what's her face? Sorry, I forgot your name. Plant girl. Gay dads. She's got the gay dads. The gay dads are a pretty common trope, but a lot of like the relationship development you see in a lot of these shows are with the ladies, and that's cool. But where is my manly men gay representation? I want it. FYI, my book, Oregonia and the Legend of the Meese, has a strong, they're not gay dads, but they are husband and husband. They don't have kids. But this let's just focus on the video. I'm getting sidetracked again. I'm not gonna talk about my book. But there's a character who's just really strong and is traditionally just like a very masculine character, and he's married to a dude. And they're both like really masculine dudes. One's a little more sensitive than the other, but yeah, they just be like that. They love each other. What can you do?
The same year that Modern Family premiered, CBS blurred a same-sex kiss between Adam Lambert and his keyboardist. Many viewers still regard gay kisses on TV as controversial, even inappropriate to air. And that put Modern Family in a tricky position. On one hand, they just managed to get audiences comfortable with gay people, and showing a kiss could alienate that.
People are still upset. They still get mad over gay kisses, like gay stuff, like gay people exist. It's fucking crazy, dude. Like Ben Shapiro and the Lightyear, like it was just two ladies kissing. Who gives a fuck, dude? It's come on, man. Just fucking grow. It drives me crazy that people are still doing this after all these years, complaining about the stupidest shit.
Part of the country that they were so worried about. But on the other hand, if the show kept treating Mitch and Cam differently, it made them seem, as a family, less legitimate than the straights. So as the season wore on, the lack of physical contact became more and more obvious, and fans even started calling the showrunners out to their faces.
As a lesbian, I would just really like to know when we're going to see Cameron and Mitchell get some on-screen action, like kissing or something.
With pressure building, Modern Family finally responded early in season 2 with an episode entitled The Kiss.
So, I really like this.
Just as fans have been saying all along.
I remember once at a New Year's Eve party, stroke of midnight, he high-fived me.
And Mitch keeps trying to dodge the issue, just like the show had been doing.
I don't appreciate you making me feel bad because I can't live up to your impossible standards. Nobody kisses at a bowling alley.
I almost got a turkey.
But then there was a big family gathering.
It's beautiful, Gloria, just like my Mitchell.
Whoa. And Mitch and Cam finally hashed it out in front of everybody. And the heart between Mitch and his
Okay, I don't watch the show, but it's like, okay. Drama queen. I love
they
it.
realized that they just didn't get much physical affection when they were young, and Mitch developed a self-consciousness about showing that he loved someone.
You being so emotionally closed off makes it very difficult for your children to show affection.
But he also recognizes that it's important to Cam, and one might say to fans of the show, so Mitch promises to try a little.
So, what he's talking about here, and he says it just fine, I just want to reiterate, like, it's kind of meta in a sense, because, like, yeah, they recognized the issues in the first season, they weren't very affectionate, but they wrote it into the story. They wrote, like, the lack of affection, it bleeds into his character. So I just really like that they took the real issues behind the scenes, and they added, like, they written them into the plot, like in a logistic like a logical way that's consistent with the characters and the story and stuff. Pretty dope. Pretty dope.
And we finally get to see the couple kiss. And all the worries about public reaction, there was no backlash at all. The episode won an award for its writing. It was one of the highest rated episodes of the season, and it beat every other scripted show that week, except for Glee, which happened to be the Britney Spears episode, so good luck beating that.
It's a Britney Spears sex riot.
What's so smart about the way this issue is handled is that the show not only explains why physical contact had been so scant, but Mitch's discomfort provides a reason for the show to gradually work up to showing more affection over time, which is exactly what it did in the episodes that followed. Over season 2, there's a noticeable increase in kisses between Mitch and Cam, woven into the jokes. The show's using comedy to take something that was once a little scary to some people and make it just no big deal.
And for a lot of people, they might be the first couple that they know. We sort of call our show like the Trojan horse, and we sort of sneak in people's rooms, and before they know that they love us, we're like, we're already in.
So now Mitch and Cam are one step closer to truly being equal to the straight couples on the show.
You know that scares the fuck out of conservatives. We're gonna sneak into your room and you're gonna love us.
They still couldn't get legally married. Behind the scenes, many members of the cast have become involved in the fight for marriage equality, particularly Jesse Tyler Ferguson. He did interviews.
For people who are traditionalists, I think there's nothing more traditional than wanting to get married.
He and Eric Stone Street, who played camera recorded TV ads.
It's not politics, it's about love and human rights.
Eric Stone Street, look at me. That is why I love you.
Aww.
Jesse and his then boyfriend Justin started a foundation to raise money for equality groups.
Tie the Knot is a foundation that Justin and I started about 5 years ago. We started to raise funds for marriage equality.
But they were up against a formidable foe. There was a huge conservative legal machine fighting marriage, not just in California, but nationwide. And they had some very powerful politicians backing them up. Among them, the governor of California, who, for weird reasons at the time, was Arnold Schwarzenegger. Yes, the guy from Terminator.
I personally always said that marriage is between the man and the woman.
Arnold also vetoed a bill that would have legalized.
Did he change his opinion on that?
To overturn Prop 8. Arnold was in charge of defending it.
I'm curious, because Arnold Schwarzenegger said some pretty, like, you know, halfway decent things in last few years. I wonder if he if he's I'm sure he's got a lot of shit positions.
Still opposed to letting same-sex couples marry, thanks in part to conservative groups spending millions to air anti-equality ads across the country.
I'm a Massachusetts parent, helplessly watching public schools teach my son that gay marriage is okay.
Oh my god. What? Did some gay black guy beat someone to death with their cock? I can't believe you got me to say those words, King James. The fact that I feel debated into saying that. Oh god, they're still doing it, man. How old was that ad? 10 plus years? Oh, they're teaching my son the gay being gay is okay or gay marriage is okay?
I'm a Massachusetts parent, helplessly watching public schools teach my son that gay marriage is okay.
And they're still doing it. It's 2022 and they're still making ads like they're grooming the kids. They're trying to teach them that being trans is okay. What's wrong with being gay? Nothing. Obviously, but try telling that to well, all right, I'm not gonna be a dick. Okay, like I think most conservatives, I don't know what fucking adjective to use. Okay, some conservatives nowadays genuinely believe that they're not homophobic, and that they are pro gay. Their vote says different, but they're like, no, they can be gay, blah blah blah. But like, maybe nowadays, like, because most people support gay marriage, nowadays, obviously, but they're using the same arguments for trans people. It's just, it's exhausting, you guys. It's exhausting. It's exhausting.
Get full marriage equality, both in real life and on TV. But then, on June 25th, 2013, everything changed. The U.S. Supreme Court ruled in Schwarzenegger case overturning Prop 8 in California and also laying the groundwork for full federal recognition. Modern Family was heading to summer break when the ruling came down, but the writers jumped into action to figure out how to respond.
One of the writers, who happens to be gay, said that he was actually happier as a writer than he was as a gay man.
That writer was Jeffrey Richmond, who said that he started planning Cam and Mitch's wedding before he even realized he could start planning his own. But once again, there was a risk of alienating conservative viewers. TV shows have depicted a handful of same-sex ceremonies in the past, starting with Rock in the early 90s.
Did you see the wedding cake? It has 2 little grooms up on top.
And then on shows like Friends, The L Word, and this very sweet 2009 ceremony on All My Children. But just like the same-sex kisses, these commitment ceremonies were often a source of controversy. Viewers complained, sponsors balked, stations refused to air them. Once again, Modern Family found itself in a delicate position. With public opinion now roughly split 50-50, the show might...
Yeah, conservatives can stay mad. Now, like, Gay Pride Month is a thing, and now rainbow capitalism has enveloped LGBTQ everything. It's really shallow. Their support is really shallow. It just goes as far as, like, making money off, LGBTQ representation. But, the exposure is good, and it's helped us as a society more easily accept alternative forms of love and you know identity.
Worked so hard to attract and retain. So they took what they learned with the Kiss episode 3 years earlier and crafted a story that emphasizes similarities between the two.
He said something earlier. Hold on.
Modern, just like the same-sex kisses, these commitment ceremonies. And then he started planning Cam and Mitch's wedding before he even realized he could start.
Actually, happier as a writer than he was as a gay man.
That writer was Jeffrey Richmond, who said that he started.
Okay, so long history of people hating on penises. Yeah, it's just a penis, dude. It's just a penis. Get over it. He was talking about the Supreme Court decision to approve gay marriage. Now, here's the interesting thing. What's his name? Thomas something? Thomas. Who's the piece of shit who's deciding to overturn a bunch of stuff? This Clarence Thomas, this fucking bitch. But what I was saying is Clarence Thomas. So he wants to look at all these old cases, right? He's like, oh, they were determined incorrectly, or just what was his fucking words, like unjustly or something, like he's saying that their reason and logic for the decisions is unjustified, which is, once you start looking into it, it's really weird because hold on, I think it's the 14th Amendment. No state shall make or enforce any law which shall abridge the privileges or immunities of citizens of the United States, nor shall any state deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process law and deny any person. So, yes, I believe it's the 14th Amendment. The 14th Amendment, now this is where Clarence Thomas fucked up, because the 14th Amendment was their justification for approving of gay marriage. Right? And he's like, no, that doesn't work, or whatever the fuck his reason is. But this is where Thomas fucked up. The 14th Amendment was also the same amendment they used to justify their decision to approve interracial marriage. A few decades ago, I mean, this guy, I have teeth, but I won't use them. I'm lost. Right, Clarence Thomas. Yeah, so he's saying, he outed himself here, man, because he's in an interracial marriage. His wife is white, last I heard. And it was the Supreme Court's, like, the justification for their marriage is the 14th Amendment. And now he's saying that the 14th Amendment wasn't a good justification for gay marriage. So by attacking the groundwork for gay marriage, he's also attacking the groundwork for interracial marriage, which is, you're black, Clarence Thomas. I don't, like, you hate gay, like, so he's lying. He's lying. He's coming up with any reason he can to try to turn back the clock on our rights and gay marriage. Well, I don't know what he's saying. Some sort of nonsense, probably, which is why you're streaming it. What's his name? This guy's awesome. He makes really good content. Matt Baume? Bum? I don't know how to pronounce that. This is a good video, though.
Before he even realized he could start planning his own. But once again, there was a risk of alienating conservative viewers. TV shows that depicted a handful of same-sex ceremonies in the past, starting
Cry about it.
Did you see the wedding cake? It has 2 little grooms up on top.
And then on shows like Friends, The L Word, and this very sweet 2009 ceremony on All My Children. But just like the same-sex kisses, these commitment ceremonies were often a source of controversy. Viewers complained, sponsors balked, stations refused to air them. Once again, Modern Family found itself in a delicate position. With public opinion now roughly split 50-50, the show might lose the middle America audience they'd worked so hard to attract and retain. So they took what they learned with the Kiss episode 3 years earlier and crafted a story that emphasizes similarities between Mitch and Cam and the other couples. It starts with the season 5 premiere, in which all the couples on the show rediscover the things that made them fall in love in the first place. And it culminates with Mitch and Cam getting in a contest with each other to engineer the perfect romantic proposal. But all their plans keep going wrong.
You'll feel better after you throw up.
And they wind up with a broken down car on the side of the road in the middle of nowhere.
You know, it's a different world down there than it was 24 hours ago.
Cam,
Tire. Oh my gosh.
Oh my god.
Maybe people not know a house.
kneeling there in the dirt, trying to fix a flat tire.
Yes.
Bummy.
Writer Jeffrey Richmond said
Baume.
in this episode, quote, "I teared up. I think you don't realize how invested in these characters you are until this huge thing that had been denied to them suddenly is not an obstacle for them." But not every obstacle was out of the way. Over the course of season 5, Mitch and Cam plan their wedding, and of course, wacky hijinks always seem to follow. Just as with the Kiss, the show focuses on wedding planning storylines that would be relatable to a wide audience, gay or straight.
I'm going to review our flower options, and I have to say so far I'm partial to Floral and Hardy, but I'm going to give one last look at Forrest Gump.
And while most of
Forrest Gump.
some issues are more serious. Mitch's dad Jay has never been totally comfortable with the idea of him getting married.
It's legal for a man to marry another man.
Ew, he threw up.
He just needs some time to get used to the idea, honey.
And eventually, he just can't keep his discomfort hidden.
This whole wedding thing is weird to me. Why do you need to make it into a spectacle? A spectacle? This is what happens when they let men marry men. That cannot be a coincidence.
And as the wedding draws near, it seems like he might not even attend because he's worried about what his macho golf buddies will think.
I mean, I'm just saying, I don't know how this stuff plays out with my guys from the club.
Things get even worse on the day of the wedding. There's a fire near the venue.
We've waited 10 years. Can we please have an hour?
I don't think you realize how close you are to actual flames.
Cam's parents are fighting and are on the verge of divorce.
It's your son's wedding. Maybe lose the toothpick?
I'm getting tired of this nagging. I'm leaving you.
The wedding party's attacked by a swarm of butterflies.
This is the happiest day of your dad's lives.
Oh, the butterflies are eating me!
And it looks like after waiting all this time, the wedding's such a fiasco, they're better off canceling it.
Is this really how you want to get married?
Well, it's not ideal. Half of our guests are on the lawn, and they're with the sprinklers.
Okay, let's just call time and death on this.
That is until, to Mitch's surprise, someone speaks up.
What are we all standing around for?
After getting into a fight with his son, Jay realized how important this date was to Mitch. That he'd been waiting for it for years. But he was willing to put up with one disaster.
You want to talk about it? Is it because it's going so fast you just can't comprehend?
After another, just to declare his commitment to the man he loves. So at the last minute, Jay finds the perfect backup venue, his macho golf club.
My son's getting married today.
Finally, after all that fighting for equality in real life and dealing with disasters on the show, Mitch and Cam get to walk down the aisle.
I am privileged to pronounce you spouses for life. You may now kiss your husband.
Just as thousands of real-life couples got married across California. And among those real-life couples that married, Jesse Tyler Ferguson, who just before filming his TV wedding, married his real-life partner, Justin.
I have 2 husbands, you guys. Remember we could have 0 husbands, now I have 2.
This all coincided with a huge surge in support for marriage equality. Polls show that now a majority of Americans supported the freedom to marry, and for the first time, voters in multiple states approved ballot measures legalizing marriage.
We have finally won the freedom to marry. All families have made.
But why did that public change of heart happen? Well, there are a lot of reasons, but I think characters like Cam and Mitch played a meaningful role. I mentioned this briefly in my video about Will and Grace, but in 2005, researchers at MIT investigated how certain shows with gay characters can cause viewers to reduce their prejudice. This doesn't happen with every show. In order for it to work, research suggests that the gay characters have to be featured in non-superficial roles over a long period of time. Say, a committed gay couple who gets significant screen time in every episode over the course of multiple seasons. The gay characters also have to be on equal footing with other members of their social group. They have to share common relatable goals with other characters, and they have to be unopposed by significant authority figures. When all those conditions are met, the study found, viewers can feel personally connected to fictional gay characters and are more likely to rethink prejudice about queer people in real life. Now, changing public opinion wasn't the goal of Steve and Christopher when they came up with Modern Family, but by including Mitch and Cam and crafting storylines that made them appealing to a wide audience, Modern Family managed to create the perfect conditions for viewers to accept gay dads as just another part of the family.
We really want to make a good impression.
Modern Family ran for another 6 seasons and then took a bow in 2020. In the series finale, Cam gets a job offer in Missouri.
2020. Goddamn.
I don't care where we live, as long as you're there by my side.
And the show ends with them heading out on a new adventure to the middle part of America, exactly the
Alright, so I think it was about 10 years ago.
In researching
Which
the
is
video, I
crazy.
found a bunch of great
Still.
details about the making of Modern Family that I just didn't have room for in the video, like how they auditioned over 1,000 actors for all the roles except one, the weird interview questions that Barbara Walters asked about homosexuality, and the time that Jesse got in trouble for saying this.
They're like Bert and Ernie. They lived together, as did Bert and Ernie. They did live together. Suspicious.
I've got the stories of both
Suspicious.
seasons.
All right, great content. This guy's makes really good stuff and things. All right, wow, we made it through. We did it. I got sidetracked a lot, but damn it, we did it. If you managed to make it to the end of this video, I'm still new to this. Give me some constructive criticism. Tell me what you liked, what you didn't like. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share it, all that jazz. I would really, really, really appreciate it. And I'll see you guys in the next video or stream. Peace.